All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Natives in America podcast, and this is Benjamin Juan. And with me, as always, is Sky Anto.
Yo, how we doing? What's up?
There he is, people. He showed up. We showed up. We're definitely recording on TO time right now as we get pushing it back. Like, it's a little bit more. And we're finally sitting down to record. I don't know. I think from now on we should start doing a little bit of announcements. You know, keep everybody up informed, I guess. But anyway. So Sky's got. There's big things going on tomorrow. Tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. You want to tell us a little bit about that while I try to remember what I was supposed to say too?
All right. So. We have a lot of teams that have been practicing over the couple months since school ended and even before then. So, on Saturday, I'm going to Hillabin, which I was in Hillabin last week. This is kind of like a continuation of that event, because it was like last time we just played, and this time it's going to be more of a tournament and skills testing. It's going to be different, but I'll be taking a team out that way tomorrow morning. So after this, I'm going to bed. And then, but my partner that coaches as well, Jeff, he's taking two younger teams to San Carlos because they got a big event out that way.
Nice.
And we've been collaborating with Mr. Meese, and he has a girls team playing in Tucson, so it's just a lot of basketball this weekend. So
cool.
That's what's up in my world, and we're pumped to do the podcast because we've been missing it. We were supposed to do it yesterday, and I overslept. I was too tired, and so I dropped the ball.
Nice. I saw what you did there. Clever.
Pun.
Yeah. I was about to say fumble there, but I think that's more football, which is my background. I just wanted to say, like, feels like we're working it out now. You know, like we're able to record now, kind of. We're still figuring it out. We got one out. We're starting all over again from the day one on our streak. You know, maybe we shouldn't even track that. That's something I like to say. Like we haven't missed a day. We finally have. So I'm hoping we can figure this whole thing out and just keep recording. Just keep going. Like we're looking for guests. I've got a bunch of people in mind, but like again, this schedule has been kind of tough. We've had at least 3 recordings that we were trying to set up over the past couple of weeks to. We were trying to set them up and have some new guests on for you guys to hear. You know, expound our minds and get introduced to new things and maybe old things or reminded of things, and we were thinking our guests would play a key role in that, but you know our schedules keep falling apart. They're very I don't know how you want to call it. They're a little fragile, you know. And we had one person in Minnesota when we were trying to record with them, and another time they were in Colorado and we were trying to pull that off, and it's like difference of hours. So if we're late here, they're way late back there. So it's like we're talking to some people we're trying to talk to are very busy, and trying to work ourselves into that schedule is difficult. So yeah, if you guys just bear with us, like the enthusiasm is not gone. It's just the time that we have to do this is a lot. It's a little tighter now, so just bear with us.
Slim.
Yeah.
A little slim to record, but
yeah,
energy is still there.
Mhm. And we still got people in mind. You brought up Joe Meese, and I was like, man, I've been wanting to talk to him for a while too. He's a guy I remember since I was in Indian Oasis. You know, I don't even think they call it that anymore. I think it's been changed.
It's the elementary.
Yeah.
I don't think it used to be the primary. Now it's the elementary.
Yeah.
But I could have it wrong too.
Well, he's there, and it sounds like he's still working with children. And like I remember him from since I was a child, about the same age as my son. So it's like, wow, that's another man that's been out there, another teacher, another soul out there sharing what they have with our community, and that's what I'm looking for in every guest that we have, and what we were trying to pull off with the guy that's in Minnesota. We were trying to cross, I guess you could say, cultural lines too, because he was from a different tribe. So, that we all have our boundaries, that are up, and lines to cross, and differences, that make us unique. And yeah, I'm all for that. So my enthusiasm for the subject matters, the gusto I feel when we have guests on and all that, like, it's wonderful. I still feel it. It's just a matter of still being able to pull this off. So every week we got to get it out. Like, it's been nice for me to be able to share and gather my thoughts, share them, and also to dedicate myself to something a little bit bigger than myself. And what's funny is the longer we've been doing this, the more it seems it's more important than I know, that I was unaware of in the beginning. Because in the beginning it was more about, I just want to talk. I just want to share. I want to join in on the conversations that are being held. And it's become much more than that. That was practically a podcast right there. I think we're done. We can just hit the red button. Like wow. It was just supposed to be an announcement. But besides that, tonight's subject, let's get to it. We're under the 10-minute mark, so I'm happy with that. I used to watch that, looking for the 10-minute mark, like, damn, have we even mentioned the subject? This is another one from Sky. You want to start it off here?
Okay. Well, another weird, kind of like, we're not running out of stuff to talk about, but I think, I don't know if we kind of tap the surface of what we're going, we need to dive deeper into more, and I don't know. So the other day, and I've been hearing it a lot lately now that things are opening up, and there's more gatherings and more people out and about, and I've been hearing a lot of the swap meet. Like people hitting up the swap meet. And I was talking with a friend the other day, and where the swap meet came up again, and I was just like, man, I'm hearing a lot of swap meet talk, and just the episode we did last week with birthdays, I said, that's something we haven't talked about with swap meets and yard sales and sort of I thought of Goodwill too, or like thrift stores were sort of the same concept, but I was like, man, I know we could talk about this. So Bob didn't tear it down and say it was a bad idea.
You didn't say no.
Yeah, so this is what we brought to the table. But yeah, the swap meet's open. I remember going there a lot when I was younger, or actually wanting to go. Like that was the place to be.
Yeah.
Feels like I took a break from that energy and just I don't. I haven't been there in a while. Besides, with it being really not a place where, because that's a big social gathering,
Oh, yeah.
That's like everybody's coming together, and you're selling stuff that you brought, That sort of, again, kind of like it wasn't really that was probably one of the first places they said don't go,
Yeah, right.
When the shit started.
Oh, you know what? I think I was applying there about that time. Like, I was going to work in their stands. You were
going to be a staff?
Yeah, their kitchen. Yeah, I was applying there. I forgot that. And I think shortly after I applied, they shut everything down.
Oh.
Or they were probably just telling me that. Like, oh, no, it's all shut down. They don't know how to love me down gently.
Yeah, they didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, like, this fucking guy. Shut it down. Tell them we shut it down. COVID, guys, COVID. Okay. Yeah, so they did shut down for a while. I know that.
Nah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Damn. When everything was so scary. Okay.
So, I guess, do you partake in swap meets or yard sales, or how do you feel about those?
I went there not too long ago with my cousin, and I went there not too long ago with my sister, and then I think we all went a third time. It was just out of the blue.
Swap meet?
Yeah, recently. We used to go, maybe not every weekend, but it felt like it. Like, we were there all the time as a family. Like this seems to be a continuing subject here, is that the couple generations ahead of us were really about gathering and going out, and maybe it's this whole digital age taking over, that we think it's weird, to be in big groups. We'd rather be staring at a screen, or even when we're, in the same room where, custom would have it, you talk to each other as we both got our phones out. So, yeah. I remember going all the time as a kid, like a lot. And I'd always be, almost every place has the same toys, and you'd see them and you'd get all upset, and that's what it would be about, is the toys or the candy. Like, I want some, I want this, I want that. And then it's like, oh, I didn't get it, so now I'm going to be all grumpy. And then you hit the next spot and they have the same shit, and you go, oh, shit, toys and candy and all this. I want more. Please, I want something. And, like, I remember we'd stop for drinks or whatever, or towards the end, we'd be there all freaking night. And then towards the evening, we'd listen to, like, I was about to say a Wyatt band, but I think it's a mariachi band. And we'd eat at that one food place, the like, little food court they used to have. I don't know if they still run that thing. Probably. Anyway, maybe
I haven't been in those so long.
It's crazy. They've built up a lot. People got some serious stands there now, and there's a lot more, like, built up stands. And now, instead of, like, one little dinky ride, they got a whole damn, like, play area. If anybody was gonna be getting some COVID there, man, it'd be there. Like, they got, like, a jungle gym type thing, like those blow up deals. The big giant. They're like jumping castles, but they're open and have big ass slides and ladders and all that. Crazy. They even have a little roller coaster now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I just always remember like not ever walking through the whole thing, or like maybe getting lost or going through an aisle multiple times because you're almost trying to walk it perfectly, but it's like you get mixed up, or or you go through the aisle twice thinking you had it figured out, but yeah, you're still like, oh man, how do I?
It's like, oh, wait a minute.
But when you were saying that about like technology thing, like I guess the social part and the actual face-to-face stuff, like that's still, if not more important than sometimes technology. I mean, there's still that happening there, but like people want to go out, people still want to.
Oh yeah.
Mingle.
I'm not saying it's dead. I'm saying it seems to have gone away a little bit.
Yeah, no, I guess that was sort of what kind of sparked my maybe got me thinking, because yeah, for a while, you know, we weren't supposed to be getting together, and it's not always like, I guess, breaking those kind of habits that we had from quarantine, and then now it's back on, you know.
Fuck.
You know, get the band going, you know. Let's get people out and about. So yeah, I mean, I see, because, you know, we actually did have and it was sort of like, as everybody was so happy to be out, it was like, they called it a swap meet, but it was like swap meet yard sale. I guess a yard sale is when it's in your yard. I mean,
hey, figure that one out.
Well, swap meet, you bring all your stuff to a place and everybody sells it at the same area. I guess, we're having that discussion before we recorded, like, is a swap meet just like or is a swap meet the same thing as a yard sale, or is a yard sale? Is there any differences? But we had a swap meet yard sale here in the village a few months ago, and you know, everybody was happy to be out. But like, sometimes it seems like it's fun to be the seller too.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, you're either going to see stuff or buy stuff, or you're there to sell stuff. And sometimes selling stuff is just as fun.
I got this buddy that he's one of the vendors actually that sells there, and like I think he's the type of guy that decided, oh, I'm going to work for myself, and he just started going to swap meets, and that's like how he pays the rent now. Well, he's got all kinds of side hustles. I don't think just doing that pays the rent, you know, but like he's a hustler, a seller. And yeah, like that kind of, I think he gets a kick out of trying to, you know, work out a price. I think the trick to setting up your whole stand is not even showing prices, you know, like just get to haggling.
Oh yeah. I guess that's sort of it's like, 'cause you can negotiate.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're good enough, or if you got that skill, I guess. Wouldn't you call that a skill, to be able to?
Well, yeah.
To almost kind of change what they were being charged versus what you end up paying. You can't do that in the store.
Oh yeah, right.
Or I mean,
people try it all the time.
Yeah, but like in Well, I mean, I think in certain places in Rocky Point where you can actually kind of do that. Like, they'll name a price and maybe say nah, so then they name a different price. You know,
keep walking away.
But it's sort of the same rules, I guess. Like depending on. Well, I guess there are some shops at swap meet or yard sales that got their prices, and you know that's what they're being sold as. But ideally, you can go and say, "How about this price instead of that price?"
Yeah. Like, I don't got that, but I got hard cash money, brother. What you got? What you got for cash, baby? Hard cash, cold, hard cash.
Or throw in some extra, whatever else they're selling, or just give me the whole thing,
Give me the leather belt, the screwdriver set, and throw in a couple of mangoes in there too, brother.
Well, that's another thing was, at the swap meet, it's everything.
Yeah.
That was sort of since I've been doing more, I guess, counseling, and a lot of times you hear people buying stuff at the swap meet that they really couldn't buy in the store.
Damn,
It's just kind of it's just sort of anything goes,
Yeah.
If this person is selling whatever and they're just trying to make money, they might overlook that and, still sell it to you. So, I was just thinking of what's all available,
Yeah.
Anything's for.
Damn, dude. In one place you can get a washer, a dryer, a car, a bed, a futon, a power tool, a dog kennel, a retro video game.
Oh yeah.
Some porno, a little bit of porno, some DVDs, and
a tattoo,
some music. Yeah, maybe a little tattoo, and then a big ass Mexican mango drink. You can get a holster made for your gun. You get some custom boots.
You can get a gun.
Yeah, some yard furniture. Maybe you let your kid ride a roller coaster.
Antiques.
Yeah, antiques. Yeah, some lawn furniture. I think I already said that because it's big.
Jamaican soap.
A fucking a statue, some brass knuckles, probably a pipe.
Ninja Star.
Yeah, I loved that guy. I don't even know if he's still there.
Camouflage jacket. Some booty shorts. Some golf clubs.
Golden jewelry. Both the real and the fake, depending on how much money you got.
Some knockoff Jordans.
Hell yeah. 3 for $5 fake Jordan shirts. Some Filas. Get yourself some Filas.
Some socks.
Oh, yeah.
And as I got older, it was more about the shades.
The shades, yeah, you can get some shades.
If you go to Sloppy, you gotta get a pair of shades.
You could get a beer on tap, which I only became interested in way later, but...
Somebody will roll up in a golf cart and pour you a beer.
Yes, from the tap, more
or some soda.
Yeah, or some soda, or a tall can, or you can get a Frosty. Not sexually, but a drink.
Tools. Lately, I remember always I've never bought any sort of music equipment, but I was always Because they got that one shop. I haven't been there in a while, but yeah, they have like everything, like the accordions, the 12 strings.
Oh yeah.
The classical. So yeah, swap meet is.
It's a wonderland. We got what you need. Yeah. It was
have
funny.
you ever been to any other swap meets besides this one?
Well, before we do, I want to bring up that there was a time where I was kind of shopping for a bed, like looking for prices. And I was like I was working at one of the hardware stores, and they had these like in-box mattresses, and I was looking at the prices, and it was like hundreds of dollars, like $500 and up for the mattresses. And I went over to, and everywhere I looked, there was like $1,000, $1,500, $800, $500, $600 beds, and I'm like, fuck, like, and I was broke at the time. I think I was like going paycheck to paycheck. And I went to the swap meet one day, and I saw that they had the big, comfy bed, $150. I think it was a queen or a full. It was like $150. I was like, bingo, my man. I was also thinking that was probably the same guy that was driving around picking up mattresses on the side of the road. You know what I mean? Like he's probably finding whatever he can, washing them up. And just selling them. Sell them. Sunday at the swap meet. Hold on, I'm going to change the lights here.
So, what's the moral of the story?
It was just another example. I think I shouldn't have even brought it up. Maybe we should have moved on.
I'm like, alright. Was it a magical bed?
Yeah. It was a magical price, and that's all you had to know there. I was thinking of that indoor swap meet, the one over by the freeway.
Oh yeah, I remember going to that.
I want to say it's like Ajo and I-10 or Valencia and I-10, maybe Irvington and I-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, over by the RV park, and they had an indoor swap meet, and it was like I don't know what the hell you call it. There's a clothing outlet. It was like you buy defective stuff. Like there was maybe like the clothes. They all had like maybe a slight defect, and you get them like they were brand names, but they were way cheaper.
It might have been a little off or something.
Yeah. I think that might have been how they pulled it out. There was this whole clothing outlet, and I used to go for the clothing and for the toys, because they had a pretty big toy shop in there too. And everything was cheap.
I know what you're talking about, but there was also another indoor swap meet. That was sort of in that same area too. But yeah, I don't know why that one didn't. I just remember it kind of fell off. Like the outdoor swap meet just kind of it always seemed to be, popping. But that one indoor swap meet, I don't know what happened. It just fell off.
Is it? But, I wonder if it's even still there. It's got to be, right?
I think it's still there. I don't know if it's still the indoor swap meet. They might have turned it into something else. But I think you're talking about that VF Factory outlet.
That sounds about right. I would never remember what it was called. I think there was even not identical, but like a super smaller one just up the road from there. Like another swap meet?
Maybe.
Crazy.
I know. I remember going there too, though. And I remember the toys.
It was about the time I had started to smoke too, so I was looking for pipes too. Glass pipes.
At the indoor swap meet or the
I think they had them at the well, they definitely had them at the outdoor one. The one we're talking about, the one on Tinker Verde. Yeah, they definitely had pipes. I'm talking about further up It must have been the indoor outlet or the one that was just a little bit further up from there, where it was a little smaller. But yeah, I remember one time I got like a set of like 3 pipes for $20 or something. They're all little hand-blown glass pipes. I remember I broke each and every one of them by having it in my lap and standing up. I'd stand up and it'll break, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool, I got 3 of them, so now there's 2. I broke another one, and then one day I was just like, oh, God, I'm out $20. Broke all 3 pipes pretty damn fast. The beauty of your outlet pipe, your swap meet pipe.
Yeah, well, you just go back to the swap meet and get more.
Yeah.
I was asking about like any other ones you had been to, but I remember the one in Phoenix. They had like a monkey. Like you gave him some change, he would. I don't know if he was a monkey or. He was monkey-esque.
A little man in a suit.
No, it was a little guy. It was a little monkey creature.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a chimpanzee or whatever.
Oh God!
But it had like a little clown uniform looking. Had a little hat, and it would like had symbols, and it would clash them. You just give it, and like it will see you pull out some change and come up to you and put the change in the hat or the tin can. I don't remember any animals at the. Oh, I remember they had all those goldfish or those fish. Do they still got that at the?
Yeah, that's still going on. It looks rough as hell though, and it's like this whole little side feature now. Like used to be a big draw, I guess. Oh, just killed it.
I'm like trying to. I remember like always be a kid, lost, cry. Probably got lost a few times too.
Yeah, I know.
What about in South? When you lived in South, did you have yard sales?
Oh yeah. I think.
Or did you guys have yard sales in the Ville?
Shit, we would do out there in Coalfields. We did a swap meet too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it had to do with the district too or something, but it was like we had tables and everybody brought whatever, their crap, whatever you're trying to get rid of, or I've had this forever but don't use it, but it's worth something, we could sell it. Like just bring anything and everything. I'm sure people's other shit got donated too, like, oh, I'm gonna donate this for you. What do you got there? But yeah, we did it we did it at least twice, I want to say. I think I missed both of them. Well, I think one I was gonna go and cook in the kitchen or something. I was gonna go do something background style, or maybe I was gonna do a welcoming table or something. I didn't go. I keep missing stuff there. Like I want to be part of it, but I keep missing it.
Well, as a teacher housing in South, there was these ladies that always were all about going on yard sales, and they would get they'll get everybody to put out stuff, and they'll be. When everybody laid everything out, it was it looked pretty popping. Just everybody bringing out, whatever, like you said, whatever they had, whatever they were trying to get rid of.
Yeah, I was thinking that a lot of teachers, whether they were subs or something, were coming and going. So whenever they moved out, they'd sell a lot of shit like that, like yard sale style. You know, they'd be moving out and like just trying to get rid of some shit. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it about that? Like, I think we were talking about another man's treasure. Another man's trash is another person's treasure.
Yeah.
That got me thinking about the brush and bulk. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, maybe it's just a Tucson thing or city thing, but it's like 2-3 times a year they have something called brush and bulk, and like you can take your like your yard trimmings or whatever. Mm-hmm. You can clean up a whole bunch of crap and then just put it on the curb, and then the city comes by and picks it up on a set date. Mm. And what's cool is now, you know, people are aware of it and they're used to it. So, like, not only are there people putting shit out in their yard, there's people going and picking up their shit. Like, picking through it. Mm. For a little while, I was doing that with my baby's mom and the kids. Like, we'd go and look for, like, new toys and new furniture. Well, it wasn't new. It was just sitting out. You know, we were just looking for stuff and I would look for, like, wood. Like, I was always looking for building project wood, and then she was looking for plants and gardening stuff, like pots and tires that we could plant in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like an event. I think we'd call it the treasure hunt day or something. Brush and bulk would come. We would drive around like the last couple of days before it came. And that's the... I don't know what you call that. It's a concept that we are all accustomed to in one form or another, you know. There's auctions, you know, there's yard sales, there's that, you know, people go and pick through people's other stuff. Like, what do you got? What do I need? Like, what's funny is, I bet the majority of the time you don't really need it, but it's like, I just want to go see what I can get.
Yeah.
You know, you go deal hunting. Or as my son's now Nana, she calls it a ganga. She looks for gangas. Looking for that good deal. You know, 50% off or whatever. Oh, that's a ganga.
Huh. Like, from a human... I guess humans are just looking for sales.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like...
shopping.
See things that it's not trash, it's treasure if you just add this, you know, or... It just needs a little love, you know, and I can fix it up, you know. Yeah. So I guess is it all trash at the end of the day? Probably. Like,
you know, I would love to be able to live like, you know, Fight Club. You don't need anything. Or, you know, what does he say? He says, the things you own wind up owning you. Something like that. And it was like, he was talking about the absurdity of going out and continuously seeking out new stuff. And I think the character in the movie was trying to say what type of, I think it was like, what kind of living room rug defines me? Something like that. Like, what? I can't even remember. I can't even quote it. I'm fucking it up. But anyway, like, I would love to be like, oh, I don't need things, you know. But like every time I get a place or whatever, there's essentials I gotta get. Or even like when you moved away to go to school, you know, either whether you're in a dorm room during the summer or, you know, in a dorm room for college, or you got your first apartment. It's like you need stuff.
Yeah.
And that shit, a swap meet, you know, you were also making me think about 99-cent stores.
Oh, yeah.
When you were talking about posting the price, I was like, motherfuckers, those guys would put it right on the front of the store at 99 cents, and then you go in and it'd be like $7.99, you know, $5.99. It's like, you sons of bitches, just because you add the 99 doesn't mean it's not right.
They're being a little loose with that.
Yeah. I think after a while they had to call it like the 99 and up or something like that.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking about like the trash and treasure concept, and I guess how you got me thinking of hoarders, because I'm like, you know, you know, some, like, we can see we put value in anything, you know, if it's sentimental or if it represents a moment, you know, we'll hold on to something. But then, like talking about like apartments or like, you know, we're only staying here until the lease is up, and then suddenly you have a room full of stuff that you're just kind of collected over time, and now you're trying to get rid of it because you're trying to leave the place.
Yeah.
So it's like, that makes sense, but it's also I guess our behaviors of not being in one place all the time.
Yeah.
And then also where we're holding on to things when nothing really can be held.
Nothing really matters.
Nothing can really be held, you know? Like, you can't take that with you.
Well, I was going to say, in the middle of all that it's all gravy until you have to move. Like, oh, I like this thing. I'm going to get that. Oh, I need this. Like, yeah, this is all so wonderful. I'm getting everything I ever wanted. And then when you go to move, it's like, fuck, why do I have all this shit? Like, God, like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, like, where did all this stuff come from?
Yeah, like, once you really start digging in your drawers and your cupboards, it's like, fuck, or the back of your closet. Especially if you've been there a while, it's like, God damn, how did I acquire all this shit? Like, do I need all of this? Do I really need all of this?
I have a box in my closet that is, you know, from my previous job when I had an office.
Oh God!
I think I just, like at the end of it, when I was leaving, I just throw it in the box. Fuck it, you know, just we need to get my stuff out of here. And then now that box is just in my closet. I don't know what's in there.
Jesus.
Probably like papers that I saved that I thought were important. And,
oh God!
But like, I mean, like, I could throw the box away and be clueless of what it was, what was in there, why I saved it. But I didn't throw it away because in the moment I thought it was important.
Yeah, just in case. You know,
saying that out loud, man, I
sound like a fucking hoarder, bro.
I might be a hoarder, bro. I also, maybe as I watched too much Sanford and Son.
Huh.
And I just was comfortable with that junkyard and
Damn, you think so? You think that influenced you?
No, I don't know. I just remember there was so much stuff going on, but yet to them it was normal, but yet that it was constant. The son trying to tell his dad, like, you need to clean up, you need to put this away, but it was a junkyard, so it was
perfect. You know, alright, go ahead.
No, I mean, I don't know why we're talking about the junkyard aspect, but I guess I'm just, like, I'm trying to understand my hoarding but I'm also trying to understand how.
Well, I think it comes down to need, man. Like, we're gonna wind up talking about stuff we've talked about before. We are talking about our age and adulthood all the time. And what's funny is, like, I find it difficult to teach my son what I know, because, you know, at different periods in his life, he doesn't, you know, your goals change as you grow older. And, like, I always think back about my toys. You know, like, damn, like, I had a lot of great toys. I always felt like I didn't have toys, but, like, I had a lot of great toys, and I ruined a lot of them. You know, some lasted, and you don't know why it lasted and stuck around forever, but I've gone through toys, man. There was even a stage where I even burned my toys, because we had my pyro stage, you know, and I try to look at my son, and I'm looking through the eyes of, I guess, an adult, and I'm looking at him going, son, take it easy with your toy, like, quit slamming it on the ground, because, you know, you don't want to break your toy and not have a toy. It's going to make me not want to buy you a toy later when you want a new one, like, because you broke the last one, you know. But I think part of that, like, I went through all that, and to deny him that you know, it's kind of a lesson. Like, oh, I know better now, and I'm trying to teach it to him. But maybe the real lesson is, you know, we've all got to go through. Yeah, maybe it's an identity, like, oh, this is me. I'm going to buy this, and I'm covered. Like, people are going to come to my house, see this, and they're like, yeah, that's him. You know, like coming of age, like when we got our first place, you have to fill it, you know, and turns out there was something going on to what your parents were setting up in their house. Like, this is us, like, this is who we are, you know. And as kids, we're just tearing through it, don't think about it at all until we have to get our own place and fill it with crap, basically, our own crap, something we call ours, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we own it. This is mine. This is my couch. This is my TV. This is my place. And shit, I think that's where hoarding kicks in, is like, maybe you've had stuff taken away from you before, you know? Too much taken away from you. So when you finally have yours, there's this much stronger attachment to it. Like, you can't take this away, because it's mine. And fuck, like, even as kids, my son's age now and younger, we learn early on, this is mine and this is yours. You know, no. We learn the word no. And we learn to lie and all that. Like, I don't know where I'm going. It's getting heavy here. I'm just saying, like when we're out there hunting for stuff like that, I bet it works on a primal level of going out and finding something that's yours.
Yeah, but I guess it's like we put the value in it, but yeah, there's just a point where we can take the value out. And I guess when we're getting stuff we want, is that our inner child sort of coming out? Or, you know what I mean? Like when you're saying, like, as a kid, because you're referencing this gimme, or like when you find something and it's like, oh, this is something you really want, but it almost has that, like, this is me. But it reminds me of my niece about a few weeks ago. You know, she loves rocks. And she's just like, we'll go outside, she'll just pick up rocks and she'll give it to me, like, hold these for me. But like, we're always playing with the rocks. And the other day we were outside and her dad was with us, and him too, like he grew up enjoying rocks, so they have that in common. And so my brother finds a rock and is like, hey, look at this, Ellie, and he's like, look at this pink rock. And she just, out of nowhere, she just grabs it and she's like, that's my rock. Just how confident she was, just sort of saying, like, I see you got that rock, but it's mine.
You just having to pick up one that belongs to me.
But I remember too, like, growing up with my cousins, where, like, I would go to his house and he had all the cool toys. Just would try to play with them, and as soon as I found one that I wanted to play with, he'd be like, nah, that's mine. No, you can't play with that one.
No, not that one, bro.
It would just get to the point where he would have all his toys kind of just to himself, and we'd be playing with the ones he didn't really like as much. But like this, I guess somehow it's with this concept of, I guess, availability now, and you're talking about stuff they put on the side of the roads that it's kind of it's like open for anybody, or like at a swap meet where I'm selling this valuable thing that either for whatever reason they're getting rid of, but it's like suddenly we're in a position to be like, oh, that can be mine,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I guess what changes from that to a formal store?
Shit.
You don't go into a store being like, "Oh, this is mine." Like,
yeah, we do. Or what are you talking about?
I don't know. I mean, maybe because it's, I think it's the one of a kind thing too. Because it's like at a store, there's going to be multiple items that are the same. It's not like we only have this one. Maybe some in some cases, but like at a swap meet or at a yard sale where there might be only one of what you see.
Something unique.
Yeah.
At the swap meet? Or what are you talking about?
I'm talking about like at a store where you see stuff, you see a bunch of the same things, and it might not feel as unique, but you go to a swap meet or a yard sale where someone's selling something that is valuable, but there's only like one of them, and sort of like one of a kind of setup versus a store where there's a whole bunch of the same thing. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
what you were saying made me think about the fact that I have a crap ton of tools, and whenever I'm at a hardware store, I'm looking around and going, yeah, I want that. And I'll find something. I'll be like just walking around looking, and then I'll find something. And it's a tool that solves some problem that I've come across while working with tools. And I just get it, and I go, yeah, yeah, you will be mine. This is the one. I need this tool now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's deep down, just like, yeah.
Well, that sounds like the inner kid in you being like, hey,
could be.
I want this.
I want it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I almost bought a tool set earlier today, or maybe middle of the night last night. I know that I have every tool in that box, but it's a nice little set. It's a lot more mobile than the rest of the crap that I have because I have so many tools. So yeah, I have an understanding with the hoarder out there. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, because it happens. Yeah.
It's a real. I guess because we don't have a limit, or do we, in our head, where we're like, maybe this is too much stuff, you know? It's like,
yeah.
Like we're always gonna want something, versus like, oh, I have too much stuff. No. How do you think? I don't think it gets like that.
Well, maybe only when it's pointed out, because the second you said that, I looked around my room here and there's stuff everywhere. And I'm talking shit like, oh yeah, these hoarders out there, whoever they are, and I'm surrounded by all this shit that I own, you know.
Yeah.
All these different little things that I got on a whim. I mean, we're using one right now, you know. Yeah.
So is this an intervention of your party? Sorry, bro.
Is that why you called me today?
This is the real episode.
Oh, so it all comes true here. Okay, let's talk about the real subject now.
You got a problem, man. You got issues.
All right. Just for fun here, I want to hear. You're give it. We do lists every now and then. Let's hear your list. I want you to think about it for a second. Of warning signs.
Warning signs
of your hoarding.
Maybe owning multiple copies of the same thing.
Pretty good. Oh god.
Like, I don't know how many copies I have of. Well, that's because I lost it, and then I'll find it again.
What?
The Sherman Alexie book.
Oh, which one?
The 10 Little Indians. Yeah, there's like 3 copies of it.
Wow.
But I think one time, and then it's like you pass up stuff where, you know, sometimes someone just, hey, you want this? And you're like, sure. You're giving it away.
Oh, it's free, right? It's free,
I
right?
guess that's a warning sign where you can defend what you're getting. Maybe stuff that doesn't work, and you still have it.
Yeah.
And but you're gonna
fix it,
and
bro.
you don't.
I'm looking around the room trying to find something. I'm like, I know I got something like that in here somewhere. Yes, okay, good. That's a good one. What's that? The third one you've named?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that has no use, and that is
like, why is it there? Why do you have that here?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's not gonna hold up anything anymore. It's just you're holding it up.
Oh shit! Yeah. I'm thinking of this. I had a concept in my head, and I was doing a lot of hot gluing with popsicle sticks. And I did 2 or 3 versions, and either the second or third one was like my masterpiece. It worked. And it immediately broke, like shortly after first one got stomped on, you know, you try to keep it around like it has value, like, wow, the first thing I ever built. And then I built one that was really good, and I was like showing it off to the kids and letting them play with it, like, this is how it works and all that. And it not immediately got broken, but it got, you know, over the years, parts started falling off, and it started like getting kicked around. And right now, next to my bed, I have only the elevator car, like the part that people stand in. It's by my bed right now. And I think I made it definitely pre-pandemic, probably when my son was still like 2 years old, a year old, 3 years old, 2 years old maybe. Yeah, and I still have that. So yeah, when you're like, it doesn't work, it doesn't really have a purpose, it's just sitting there, I still have it. I'm a hoarder, bro. I'm a hoarder. I've already on your okay. All right, I want to hear your number 5, because if I'm 5 for 5, then I might have a problem here. I'm terrified that I got to make another list following your list.
Probably you probably have people that are concerned about.
Concerned about it?
The direction of your life.
That's 5 for 5.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing with yourself? I've been asked that a few times by my family. So what are you gonna do? What are you doing with yourself? Is this it? Is this what you're gonna do? I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll go to school then, or something like that. I've actually said that. Maybe not fuck it, but I'll go to school then. I'll show you. You know. Yeah.
I just on the show Hoarders. There's always a relative that like kind of having their own breakdown, and, like not being able to like, I guess, address how they really feel, because the person that is the hoarder is like can kind of make excuses and kind of live in their own world, and so sometimes it's like there's always that relative that is kind of having a breakdown themselves. But
I've fallen silent now because I'm listening. You've got my full attention.
No, I mean, it's like, you know, everybody's situation is different. You know, but like we're all connected too. So like, if you to kind of know somebody that is like they can't even get in their house because there's piles of stuff, and or like the house that you grew up in, and now you don't look the same because it's just piles of newspaper or whatever. I don't know. It's sort of like people break down because they're like having to come to the realization like, oh man, it's that bad, or maybe they kind of turned their back on it. They didn't want to see how bad it is, and then when they get there and it's that bad, it's like, oh shit. And I don't know if they feel responsible or if they're just that worried about whoever. But it's like it hits them as well. So.
Well, for a lot of people, it's like their childhood home, and maybe they got a little bit of it too. Or I think I was watching one, and they're like, "Oh, our granddaughter's starting to do the same thing," and they were filming this poor kid like just enjoying her stuff in her room, and they're like, "Oh, she's doing it too." It always seemed like this co thing, like this co-conspirator, codependent thing. Like I love you so much, I won't give up on you. And the other person's like, just leave me with my things. You know?
Yeah. It's a little scary.
It's rough. It's rough, yeah.
That's a little, like you kind of like, sometimes you'll choose the possessions over your own blood,
Yeah.
I don't care if you're not in my life. Give me my, whatever.
My crack pipe.
I mean, like that too. I think that's another thing is like we're collectors. We collect things. Like, see, where does the line draw from? Having a collection of something and it being respected versus, I collect all this stuff and it's all just laying here. Because like there'll be times where like you'll see a hoarder that collects like magazines or stuff that actually might be valuable, but yet the way that it's being collected is not shown that way. So I mean, like they're getting upset. Oh, you're throwing away my collections, or like you can justify it as it being valuable, but there's a certain point where the value is not. It's almost like it doesn't matter if it's valuable. It's a hazard, or it's a. All you need, like a lot of times with those people, is like if a fire starts, all this shit that you have piled up is just like it's gonna burn quick, So I mean that's always the rough part about everything. It's like. Fire, man. We're talking about now with the mountain burning. Like, so easily, shit can just burn up.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Damn, you said it.
That's another, I guess that's another part of it where, it all burns up at the end, so. Is anything worth collecting? Or is anything worth salvaging, But I think there is in those moments. But in the I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's all nothing. Not to be dark, but like.
Oh, we've been dark, bro. This became a hoarders episode real quick.
Well, so if you, I guess this is the swap meet and the yard sales. Are they helping the hoarders? Energy,
Well,
are we all hoarders? I think we're all hoarders then.
I think we're all capable of something happening and something where we're, traumatic. And then becoming over-attached to things, yeah. While you were talking, I was thinking about the saying that I've heard about money. I was like, why hoard it when you can't take it with you when you die? You can't take it with you. And while you were speaking about all this, I was like, man, you can't take your stuff with you either. I think that was the craziest thing about, the brush and bulk, and when you move, somebody somewhere needs this shit that you got, and sometimes you're using it, and sometimes you're not. I was even thinking about the sellers. Like, we're like, I don't know why he would be selling this drill. It's probably because it's his third set of drills, or.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it, I'll sell that one. Like, I don't really need it. I don't really use it. It kind of leads up to that. Like, when you got so much stuff.
Yeah. I think of Well, pawn shops, we haven't talked about pawn shops.
Oh,
but,
shit, yeah.
I think about, like, having things that you collected that you are valuable, but you either get, like, I think, for instance, like the PA system that I had to sell because I need to pay rent, or the synthesizer I had to sell that I really liked, but, you know I need to pay rent back in the day when I was in school, so, like, I had to sell those things, but I knew people would want them because they had value.
Valuable, yeah.
But, you know, I'm still talking about them, you know, I'm still like, damn.
I'm still talking about them.
Wanting
all the
them,
stuff you've had. Yeah.
But, like, when you're talking about someone selling stuff, you know, they might have too much of it, or they need to get rid of it, or like that. Like, they need money to.
Yeah.
And that's.
Or you have so much of it, you can put it on the side of the road. Well,
or you don't have the time to try to even.
Yeah.
Make anything out of it.
You don't have a booth at the swap meet. You're just you.
Mm.
Yeah. It's a trip, man.
Yeah, well, there's like that certain point where you're just like, I don't care. Just get rid of it all. Put it all.
What do you think? What do you think about people going to like small houses? Or, you know, like this whole new movement of people going, all right, less is more. I want to get rid of my possessions and live with the basics. I mean, do you think they're trying to escape what we're talking about? They're trying to get out of this. I always bring up capitalism, like it's based on buyers and sellers and this need that people are trying to fulfill. You know, they're trying to stuff this hole that nobody can fill, this bottomless pit. Everybody's buying it out. Like, so, like, do you think going small or throwing away all your possessions and like trying to start over, you think they're trying to escape that?
I think there's a fast-paced world that we get, are involved with, and it requires you to buy things and sign things, and now you have copies of things, and then there's this other element of life where, you don't need anything to be, I guess, fulfilled or happy, or, you just kind of need yourself, and maybe escaping that world where, you need to have this, you gotta have this, or where you're trying to, keeping up with the Joneses, where you're almost, working hard just to, say you have it versus enjoying what you have, and the less is to kind of live like that, less is more, or to not have, so many possessions, you might almost kind of feel more freedom. It's like all these things that we own that we really don't own at the end of the day. We're still, I guess, mentally keeping tabs. Like, I'm talking about the synthesizer, like, that was, 10 years ago, and I'm still fucking talking about it like it was yesterday, because I put that much value into it.
Do you think if you were to get another synthesizer, you'd covet it?
Maybe the same model.
Yeah, you would still get the same model too.
The same model would be like, it was a fair trade, I guess. Like, I guess like that too. Like, we're also not trying to maybe lose, or if you're selling something at the yard sale, and sometimes where the price is not always important. It's almost like you almost care if it's going to a better home or if it's going to be treated well. You're like, sometimes it's not about the money. It's almost about where that's going, because I have value in it, but I also need to get rid of it. So, no, it's not about selling it. It's about who's going to buy it and actually, make it their treasure, So, yeah, maybe less is more is more easier to maneuver because you're not so tied to items or value of possessions.
What do you think about this? Would you look at somebody who's going, like I kind of think it winds up being extremes that really stick out. So like the person, you got to climb over their stuff to sit on their couch after you clean out their couch, like the couch is pile high too. You got to sit on the lip of the couch, like that's like an extreme, right? Like I was also thinking about people going small. They're another extreme. Like, oh, we're going the other way. We're going as little as possible to an extreme amount. Cutting their valuables into like a quarter of what they had or whatever. Like, get rid of it. We don't need it. Like, what do you think about that? Do you look at somebody going, oh, we're gonna live tiny, or we're gonna go live in the forest? Do you think of them the same way, with like the same kind of stigma that you put on a hoarder? Like I kind of cringe when I think about a hoarder. Like I feel dirty.
I don't know if I feel dirty, but I remember. Well, I don't know if this is related, but like I remember there's this one lady that I got to work with. It was a while back, but it was during the summer, and she was married, but her and her husband, they didn't have a TV in the house, and that just blew my mind, because I'm like, man, we got a TV in every room, Like there has to be a TV, like. Then I kind of was like, man, like, do I need a TV to live in? Do I need a TV in the house for it to be fulfilled? So it was just like, it freaked me out, because I was like, well, what do you guys watch? Like, what do you
guys do? Did you get bored?
But they did a lot of like rock climbing, and
hell yeah,
pretty like active, and so like I guess certain times when you don't need to watch TV, and that was sort of like almost, it wasn't a lifestyle I was ready for, but it was like, okay, like that's what you want. That's what's cool for you guys. You don't need a TV, but
yeah.
For a moment there, I'm like, you gotta have a TV, But that's just how I perceive things. But I grew up with a TV, So I don't know. Maybe my relationship to TV is not as easy as to be like, oh well, I don't care if you're there or not.
Are you talking to your TV right now?
Yeah.
How did you?
Like, don't go.
No, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I take it back. Yeah, I'm staring at the TV right now, just saying that.
You wouldn't leave me, would you? But I guess, like, I don't know, like, there's always somebody that's going to be doing something different. Whether it's hoarding or living very minimal, but it's like, I guess, like, when you could take it not take it too far, but where if it goes too far, where, like, man, you're crazy. I don't know, because it's like I guess, like, as humans or as people, we're taught to want things, right?
Yeah.
We're not taught to need things. Are we? Like, we just kind of know we need them, but, like, the stuff we want.
Well, yeah. Because we need to eat, and we need to drink water. We need water, you know. We're taught both, and figuring out what, you know, the difference between them is kind of the thing about growing up. Yeah, we definitely learn about things we need, and yeah, is it abnormal to get that same feeling of need for something that you don't actually need? Is that abnormal?
I don't know.
Is that strange? Like.
Well, that's like, I don't remember being taught to be like, sometimes you can want too much, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you teach that to a kid? Or would you want to?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're bashing on hoarders, but, like,
damn, alcoholism.
We're also kind of saying,
I like to drink beer and I like to eat, and I'm all big because of it. So it's like, yeah.
There's the balance of it all, I guess. And maybe not wanting to. Well, I'm not trying to say, because I feel horrible saying, like, you shouldn't want too much, because that just sounds silly. But then I also wouldn't say don't be expecting maybe more than you deserve either.
Damn.
I don't know. You know, like, if like someone's saying all this stuff, like, they're gonna get this, they're gonna get that, and then maybe it's not realistic, or maybe it's it comes with the responsibility that you're like, are you even gonna be able to handle all that? I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird how
you're hitting on some pretty heavy subjects, and I'm like, damn, like, it all sounds very commonplace what you're saying. Like, millions of parents have said that to their kids, but, like, maybe I'm listening with, like, today's blinders on or something. Like, it all sounds horrible. Like, no, you can only have this. Almost like you're limiting the child from believing they could have everything they want. You know, the opposite of what we're also trying to teach them is, you can be anything you want, you can have whatever you want. You know, if you work hard for it, you'll get it. You could be the president of the United States. You could be this, you could do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this is sort of related, but I was freaking out because I watched this video the other day. I think it was TikTok. And it was this guy saying, like goals were bad. And I was like, what the hell?
Goals?
Yeah, but the way his reasoning was, by setting a goal, you're sort of setting limitations around that, about that. I guess the accomplishment. And he was saying kind of living limitless to what's, what's available, but sort of like, I guess not containing yourself to something that, has restraint, being more open to just anything can happen. And a goal is only going to keep me in that one, I guess, section. I don't know. It was weird listening to that because I like to talk about goals. I always talk about goals. I think that they're important. Thinking like that, I was also sort of like, yeah. I mean, that's interesting because, I mean, I don't know. It was just sort of a different way of seeing it, but I was always kind of thought that goals were important. This guy was saying it wasn't as.
It definitely sounds counterintuitive for sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I mean, I guess where do we draw the line between wanting things and wanting too much of something that is only going to create more problems? Or
I feel like we're moving on towards addiction now.
Oh.
And trying, but you're still talking about it like we're teaching it. How do you teach it to a child? When you first learn about something like that. I was sitting here wondering if my son would understand it now. Or if it's just too soon to even be talking about that. Like, interesting.
I don't know.
I'm sitting here quietly. I'm just doing a lot of thinking. Like, blowing my mind, and I gotta pause here and think. Like, damn.
It's a. I mean, it's not greedy, but then
I think it's surrounded with trauma. There's something happens because everybody has their story about who they were before. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be this and this, and then so and so died, or she got fired from her job, or just something traumatic happens, and then the want to need, becomes an addiction. I guess we're talking about it now. And the funny thing is, like I said, it seemed dirty to think about it. Be surrounded by stuff like falling down on you and climbing through it, and but like that need and that almost out of control drive to get more and want more and wanting to keep it all, like that. It sounds bad, and then you really start applying it to other situations throughout your life. Like there's you know, there's so many addictions out there, and it's funny, not funny, but they all kind of surround some bit of trauma, and people go out trying to fix it. I mentioned the bottomless pit, you know, that I think we're all capable of, you know?
Yeah.
We're all capable of having that switch be turned on. And in times of need and trauma, and maybe if we're being really honest, maybe we flip it on ourselves every now and then, you know? Like, you know, going overboard, feeling like maybe you're living. I'm talking about drinking right now. Like, you flick it on, you know, you go hard sometimes. You know, depending on how often.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's kind of random. You don't know who's gonna get it and who's not. And I think trauma almost always plays some part in it.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the hoarder having who they used to be, and I think about all the videos I've seen of somebody addicted to something, just going, you know, I'm still thinking drugs and alcohol, whereas like, this is who they used to be, and this is who they are now. I guess I'm thinking intervention now. we're just going across the TV shows here.
Well, I think the impact of what we go through and how we respond, I guess, to the trauma, you know?
Yeah.
Or I guess how we... I remember I was talking about that like a few months ago, about that there are some, I guess, some people, like, theories on trauma, how it could affect you and you know, kind of influence the way you behave in life, but then there are also maybe other traumas that maybe didn't rub on you the same way, and it didn't have that much of an effect on you. You're able to you know, get through it. I mean, I guess it's the after effect of when you're talking about, like, oh, this is who they were before, and now this is who they are now. Like, who they are now is somebody that is responding to the trauma, or doing what they can to, I don't know if it's suppress or, I don't know what I'm saying. We're talking about trauma. I'm just like, I also think sometimes others deal with it differently.
Yeah.
And I mean, you get through it how you get through it.
Yeah. Some people hoard stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe they won't call it hoarding. They'll call it something else.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, even the terms are like a hoarder might not call themselves a hoarder.
Yeah. Well, call it what you will. It looks a certain way, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
Or it's some kind of I guess behavior that clinically that can be fixed or addressed. I guess even I don't even know if hoarding is if that could be something that they could diagnose somebody with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but I mean.
Well, that's what I kept bringing up, the abnormal. It's like, you brought it up too about this line that we crossed. It's like, at what point, when do you know right there? That, I was joking when we were talking about it, but I was like, yeah, there's a line that crosses.
Yeah.
And when you're right there, it's like, oh, well, there's the line and them over there, not me. Oh, it's not me, it's them over there. That's them. And earlier you were saying we all have some form of it. I think you said we all have some part of hoarding going on. We're all hoarders in some way.
Mm-hmm.
You made me think about that line. It's like, oh, we're all hoarders in some way or another. Wow. All right, so I'm thinking we're calling this episode the One Man's Trash is Another Man's Treasure episode or something like that. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, I think so.
And then on that point, how do we wrap this all up? Like, bring it back to
swap meets? Yeah,
well, not even just swap meets, but like going and getting things, what you're looking for. Like, we started in the swap meet. We talked a little bit about 99-cent stores. Like, what are we actually talking about here? Because like we've somehow made it all the way into psychology here. So do you have some kind of summary or like a how do we round this thing up?
How do we wrap it up?
How do we bring it all back to square one? Well, we go full circle here. I mean, we're talking full spectrum.
I think it's this concept of wanting valuable things, but also knowing that we put the value in anything and everything. So I guess it's almost being aware of the value not even mattering. I don't know. Because it's like, again, I keep thinking of the fire, like, we could all blow up, we could all burn up in a haze, and you won't really get the choice if you have something valuable in there or not.
Damn.
But
that's even
for
darker.
sometimes we're also like holding on to these things that maybe don't deserve the value we give it.
Yeah.
Or it's making up for something else that we're trying to get value from. So I think of the 40-year-old virgin, how he has all these collectors, or he has all these toys, but I guess they become valuable over time with however collections work. But there's also this point where you're not even playing with the toys, you're just looking at them.
Yeah.
But then they lose value when you touch them. So it's like, I forgot how, I mean, I know it's all connected somehow, but I guess it's, we put value into the things that we want or say we need, but yet really we have no control whether those things are going to be here or not. So I don't know, I guess it's like in our lives we can hold valuable things, but somewhere else we also lose them. Or give them away, or sell them.
Or burn them.
I don't know, it's like a constant, I guess life is a swap meet. You know, we got stuff we're holding on to that, you know, if someone's willing to make a good price, you know, maybe we'll sell it. But then we're also sort of, you know, have all this stuff that we're trying to get rid of. But not to say if something catches our eye, you know, we'll go after it. I mean, we all go to the swap meet. I mean, I guess, have you ever gone to the swap meet being like, I'm not going to want nothing? Or like when you're shopping?
Yes,
you know?
I'm just going to go look. I'm just going to go for the walk. But that's impossible. There's so much available. It's like whatever you want.
So I guess even like window shopping, there's still that little bit of like, I can still want the things.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's if like when you're saying trauma, and then even like psychology of like, you know, like we're happy if we can hold things, you know, like I don't know, I just think of like the rappers, like when they're like, there's always something like, can I hold it? Is there something I can hold? Like, you have so much valuable things, people around you, they just want to hold your stuff for you, you know? It's like,
crazy.
Let me just well, then even like with the Instagram, like, show this picture of this valuable thing so people will think I'm around valuable things all the time, you know?
That's interesting.
We're sort of either wanting to hold valuable things or be seen next to valuable things.
Dude, I'm thinking about like birds, you know, building the best nest. Mm-hmm. You know, or they got like the most colorful feathers and they're showing them off. And I know I always go back to animals, but like that's just, sometimes the things we do is like you'll see an animal do it and then you go, holy crap, like, and I make that connection, like, that's where it came from, like that's like our basis nature before that was developed or evolved all the way up to us, supposedly evolved. And by that I mean, you know, gotten any better than animals here. We feel like we're the most evolved. But yeah, I like status. I think that's what you're getting at, is status. Is like,
yeah,
it's ingrained in us to have status. And maybe we're talking, you know, the ultimate reward there is the reward to mate, like animals. You know? you're trying to reproduce in a world where it's no longer absolutely necessary, like life and death, for us anyway.
So, in replacement of procreation and mating, we collect things just to show our peers that we have stuff.
Yeah, well, for the reward of sex. You know? A mating. Just no longer, you know, the ultimate goal being procreating, having children. Because it's, you know, some people's goal is never to have kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're still having the sex. You know what I mean?
Well, how is that related to
swap meets?
Yeah, wanting to buy stuff.
Well, I think you're touching on it already. Here is you're pointing out that there's this need for status, and I'm saying the earliest form of a need for status is to mate as animals, and we're so far down the line from that we're mating not to mate. You know, but we're still using the status to get there.
So you're saying when I talk about going to the swap meet getting shades, I'm like, with these shades, I'm gonna pull.
Well, yeah, maybe. I think at its basis form, that's what we're getting at here. Is you know, deep down there's like a hope of mating. You know, you get your house, you're like, hey, it'd be great if I had a lady here. You know, and I better have nice things for the lady to see. Better have a house plant, you know, that I didn't kill. You know?
Man,
is this the basis for what we're talking about here?
I think, we are, but it's just so. There's so much, I guess, more complex we make it.
Yeah.
You know, where like, oh, we're going to go socialize, or we're going to go look around, window shop, you know, but.
Yeah, think about everything we've talked about up to this point, like how deep we got on it. And now it's just like, sex.
Yeah.
Or status.
I might find a cool hat that's gonna. Well, so I guess when we're talking about like swap meets and kind of just going to go, it's always that element of like you never know what you're gonna find, you know.
Yeah.
And that might just be the, you know, magic ticket to get you the ladies.
Well, we mentioned
or the attention.
Yeah, attention. Yeah, well, status. Yeah, you. Oh, look at me! I've got status. But the funny thing about status is it's what people give you. You know, that's kind of a weird thing. Like, if people go, "Oh, I want what he's got," then suddenly he's got this level of status. Or she, or her, you know.
Yeah.
The ladies covet each other's things as well, you know. Things. Oh.
So we're all looking for that Gandhi. Pretty much what we're saying.
Is that what we're calling it now, a Gunga?
That deal.
Yeah.
That's going to change it all.
Damn. Is that what it's all about?
I think so.
Like you've heard of nesting when you're at your house and You know?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Fixing up your pad and trying to like, oh, I'm going to bring something home and make a couple eggs for the nest.
I also think of Jack and the Beanstalk, where it's like something you buy that just suddenly opens up all this other valuable stuff, or this stock that takes you to a different place. You know, I think we all kind of magically think we're gonna find some magic beans and shit,
or for you a hat.
It's gonna change the game. Yeah, like, there might be some shades
in a hat
that just you know, that get me amped up. You know?
Yeah, a state of mind. And I liked that you called it getting you raised up, like raising you up. Yeah, there you go. I think you nailed it already right there. Wow. Yeah, the thing that's going to make you feel like a haircut.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you walk around, you're like, lined up, check me out.
Clean.
Yeah, clean, smelling good, I look good, it's all good. Yeah.
Wow. I think we solved it. Well,
problem solved. Next song.
Next case.
Yeah.
On
to the next case.
Well, I don't know if we saw what we saw, but I think now I kind of understand a little bit better what's happening. I mean, not happening, but why a yard sale is appealing, you know?
Yeah, might come up.
I also think of Gremlins, you know, when he buys they go to that weird shop and it's like all dark and got weird things and I don't know, just sort of this purchase, a sale, transaction that changes everything.
Wow, I think you're starting us on a whole other trail towards storytelling. But yeah, like, damn, that all right, think about it this way, the age-old story. This has been going on forever.
Yeah.
Only the subject matter has changed. And in a lot of instances, maybe it hasn't. Like land and water. Yeah. And borders. Whoa. Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. The hunt for the sale, the hunt for the Ganga. Yeah. I was going to say that some of it is conscious and some of it's subconscious.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah, and whenever I bring up like the whole animal side, I think that's the more uncontrollable side. The animalistic side of us. And I'm sure there's people out there when they hear that, they go, oh, but I wear pants. I'm different. I got thumbs, you know? Like, oh, I've got a job and I got a 9 to 5. It's like that somehow changes the fact that we've come from animals. We've got animal stock in our blood, you know?
Yeah.
We shared, DNA points with all kinds of animals. And so what I'm getting at is like some stuff we're conscious of. We're like, oh, I want that, you know. Oh, that'll get some girl's attention or a guy. And I want that. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that status. People are gonna want that, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna have the only one, you know.
Yeah. Damn.
There was more to that, but I've already...
We're kind of selfish, huh?
Oh, shit. Once again, you're holding up the mirror to my face. Yes, Yeah.
I said we're.
I know you did, but whenever you think about what we're talking about, you got to put yourself into it. So yeah, I'm like, you're holding up the mirror, put it away. I don't want to see it. I'm an animal. Yeah, I'm out of control. I got a problem. Yeah.
Well, we're working on it.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you for your moral support.
Your life, man.
Huh?
It's the first day of the rest of your life. We're addressing it right now.
I would hope so, man.
I'm trying to figure it out.
We're gonna fix you.
It's like I'm here for you. No, so I guess hoarding is maybe not the worst thing. I guess it's more a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
You get trampled over all your stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess the psychological aspect of it where you think you can contain all that value in something that's going to be junk or dust. This is, like I said, I know it's dark, but it's like also very kind of like reassuring as far as like we can be so tied down to bills and possession and to kind of have this concept of it just turning to dust someday. Like, it does sort of kind of relieve you in a weird way.
Yeah.
But I guess it's knowing when it's the time. It's like, I would never want to. Well, the Ophelia Zapata poem. There's this poem she talks about, like when you visit the ocean, you treat the ocean like it's your friend, and there's this point in the poem where they're talking about, giving the ocean flowers, or taking seashells. When you go to the ocean, you collect seashells.
Yeah. And
they're saying, like, if you take two, give one back. And Ophelia always said, like, poems were a way of teaching. And that poem, she was teaching her daughter, not to be greedy. Like, like, you don't need to take all the seashells, just take one, But I guess it's like, when I say the psychological part of, like, thinking we need all this stuff to be complete when it's really not the case. It's almost like, well, here's the minimum of what you need, and putting more value into maybe something that really doesn't have a lot of I guess it's not something you possess. It's just having value that you're alive. Putting value in the fact that you're breathing. Not concerned about your TV or the items you need. Because I'm pretty sure we could list a bunch of items we feel satisfied having, but if we don't get them, it's not like our world is ruined. But it is kind of remind me of being a spoiled brat, thinking, I want this, and if I don't get it, I'm pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like containing your maturity or containing your young-heartedness.
Huh.
Right? Because I guess we still have to be a responsible an adult, but yet there's still this inner child that we're. I don't know.
Huh.
If you just want to buy toys, you know.
Yeah. More power to you. Yeah. Outside looking in, huh?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. The thing is, like, growing up, you have the freedom to want everything.
Yeah.
And as an adult, you're like being responsible of what you do hold. You can't handle all that shit, man.
And on that note, thank you for listening to the Native American Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Let it go.
Damn. Sky says let it go, people.
Let it burn.
Some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to say, and at the same time, we've said a lot, and I'm not so sure it all had to do with the yard sales and the swap meet, but it definitely got me thinking about our own lives, where we're like, oh, that's them, this is me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, at least I'm not like that, you know? And then at the same time, you allow yourself to be like that with something else in your life, you know? And then I do think about the whole transition between childhood and adulthood, and yeah, you said it, like, our world is so wide open as a child, and then, you know, it closes down on you as you get older. Maybe not. But, you know, statistically speaking, there's a curve, you know, the bell curve. And, yeah, you definitely got me thinking about why we teach what we teach. You know, from beginning, when we already know how it is, but we still paint the pretty picture, you know, we still have the sayings, we still have this thing we have to teach our kids about how they're supposed to act in society and right from wrong.
Yeah.
And then you come across somebody and you're like, yeah, that's why we have that law, you know, or something. I don't think we're finished talking about this. This is far from over, but
to do a stopping point.
Yeah. I think we, you know, the overused saying of walk a mile in their shoes, or, you know, try their shoes on for size. Like, everybody's got their own, or maybe this goes back to what we were talking about realities, and we're going right back to it, is your perspective and what you see in front of you, and where, you know, Sky's talking about value, like what you're putting your value on. Definitely shapes your world, and people on the outside looking in will see what they see based off of their own reality. Now, I'll tell you, when I witnessed it, it looks horrible. Some of these things, you know, addiction looks horrible, and it becomes easy to judge on what you're seeing at that point, you know. And what you're really dealing with is a lifelong obsession or we haven't used that word yet, obsession, but like a compulsion, a need. And you know, I'm still on the fence, saying who decides what's right and wrong? Who got to make that call? And I guess it's all just we're leaving it to questions. People is what we're getting at. Like, I don't think much more could be said without, you know, just changing the subject of the addiction. Whether it be hoarding, you know, shopping, sex, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're touching on a much larger picture of psychology and instinct.
Yeah.
I will say this: I used to love the swap meet, and some of that's still in me. You know.
Yeah.
When I did go, I was looking around going, why haven't I been here this whole time? It's great, you know? So, on that note, I'm saying the people are there, the buy-ins there, the deals.
The ganga.
The ganga is there, the sex appeal, yeah, it's there, all of it. It's us, man. I keep saying this, it's us, it's humans needing to interact with each other. And the sale has long been a historical way to bring us together, to make the world a little bit smaller. Like if you think about trade, like people sailed the oceans to bring goods and sell them.
Oh yeah.
So
spices.
Yeah. Huh?
Spices.
Yeah. So we're ingrained with this stuff, and it's in our DNA as humans to want and need, you know, to covet things. And that thing, the matter that you're so focused on, can be anything, including people, and women, and men, you know, whatever it is. Like you fill in the blank. And again, like you were saying earlier about putting value on it, like it can be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about that.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. You know, pick your poison. This is maybe it's this. We're looking for whatever makes us feel good and okay being on a rock, flying through space, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a pig in mud. All right. Well, thanks for listening in, everybody. I hope this got your noodle canoodling, you know? Got you thinking. I think a little introspection and what do we call it? Thinking about yourself, internally, and thinking externally about the world around you is always important.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You said it, man.
No, you said it, bro. You said it. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is the Natives in America podcast, and you're listening to the Reservation Radio Network as well. Peace.
Hit us up. Comment.
Like and subscribe.